Hey guys, it's Finn.
It's Bradley. Part 2.
With his mouth full. So, last week, I posted the one podcast, and I said I was going to pick up right where I left off, and here we are, minutes after the previous podcast.
Because we're lying!
But you're listening to this in the future. Tell us what it's like in a week in the future, then.
Are androids sentient yet?
So, yeah, that kind of goes along with what we were talking about. In the previous podcast, we were talking... In the previous podcast, we were talking about Detroit, and then it got us on a very philosophical conversation about androids and them becoming sentient.
As I was going to say, last episode was kind of a recap, a review of what we thought of the game and our choices and everything. This is kind of going into the semantics of what the game's supposed to mean. So, just for a heads up there,
It's going to be kind of a heavy conversation, as you could tell from some of those previous questions. And I warn you guys now, I'm a horrible person. As established in the previous podcast.
And as I've said previously, I believe most of the people would choose your side, so...
I don't think most. I think I'm definitely on the minority.
As you said, people don't like to feel out of control.
I didn't say people don't. I said I don't.
Which I would agree that most people would say similar sentiments.
Most of the people I've grown up with are very submissive. So...
I would argue in some sense, but...
I think that's why I'm so prideful and want control, is because so many people around me are so submissive.
Yes. Okay, but as we were talking previously, so our positions on the conversation is the previous question was, if a android was gained sentience, would you treat it like a human? Finn is in the camp of no.
No, I wouldn't be able to trust an android.
I'm in the camp of yeah. I mean,
I like to be in control. So
sure, but kind of going after that semantic and everything. Lost my train of thought.
Oopsie.
Back on the rails.
Don't sit there fidgeting with the game case.
Would you be able to shoot this game?
I would.
Oh, nice. Okay. But yeah, just kind of go over and everything. I don't know. Just your philosophy and position on androids are so. Okay. Well, here's to pick one up, kind of off the top of my head. Kind of go off a little bit of a side route. Do you think it's right for a machine to replace a human in a job?
No.
Really?
Not at all. Now...
But do you agree it makes sense?
Cosmo's crying.
Yeah.
It makes sense, yes. But I believe that people need to work. People.
Yes.
To make money.
Yes.
And pay taxes.
Yes.
And pay for a house. And, I believe that people should have to work. And with androids taking all the jobs, that is not possible. Now, when we were playing Detroit, you had one of the options that said that during Marcus's speech, it was like, we want to work, or we want jobs.
Equal compensation for the level of work.
Yes, which basically means we want to be paid for our jobs that we do because other people do.
Which is acceptable.
Which makes sense. Because I believe that's how all people should be. Everybody should be paid for the work that they do. And not be paid to do nothing or anything like that. It's true.
I was gonna say, I'm like, you're not wrong, but the way you said it, the way you looked at me when you said it, I thought it was funny.
Do I think androids should be able to take our jobs? No. Because they were made to do those jobs.
To do a job, yes.
Yes. To do a job. Now, in a sense of Marcus's or Kara's case, that's where I would want them. As, health aids because Marcus's owner, Carl, was very old and needed that extra help.
And it's cheaper than paying somebody 24/7.
Exactly. So that made sense. Kara, she was basically an unpaid maid, which some people have a really hard time maintaining their house. So that helps.
Well, my question is, why would you not be okay with Connor then?
Connor is taking a real person's job.
So is Kara and Carl. There are people to take care of people.
There are.
In fact, wouldn't Connor be a better choice, though? Because Connor's taking one job in a very limited field and can do it twice as well. When you on the other hand, you have Connor and Kara, who are taking many people's jobs, because those are considered base level jobs. You don't need a lot of training or experience for it, and they provide a service that is needed.
I don't know.
So you'd be taking away a very easy level entry job.
No, I'm not okay with androids taking any jobs, Ben. I wouldn't be okay with that at all.
That's a very interesting. Okay.
Because I believe people need to work, and due to the fact that our generation doesn't want to work anyway.
That's right.
Our generation doesn't want to work, but we have to. We're human beings. We should. We should not rely on machines to do it for us.
Well,
It doesn't teach ethics unless you work.
True. That I would say that's a very true statement.
So if an android does it all, humanity will just fall.
Well, there was I forget where it was, but there was a plaque that says because of androids, humans were able to become better because of what was it? To pursue the finer and higher qualities of life or something. Because of it.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember seeing it and everything, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like in a way it would be the next logical step.
What? Having androids as workers?
Yeah. Well, think about it.
I mean, it makes... Okay.
Hey, listen. As someone that lives in Ohio, somebody that can fix a pothole in the middle of winter sounds great. So...
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I understand why we would want machines, because machines won't get cold.
Yeah, machines won't get tired. They
won't get
cold,
tired.
I want to go home or go on vacation.
Right. And there's no argument either. You tell them to do something, they'll do it.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of funny. My work ethic is like a machine. You tell me to do it, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you tell me to do it. I mean...
I won't care.
I don't play the game of being told to do stuff if you ask me to do it.
Nah, man. I'm just like, hey, man, cool. I'll do it. Tell me when I'm done.
But when it comes to... It makes sense as to why they do it.
Yeah.
As to why they use machines. But humans need to work. Now...
Well, okay.
No, the thing is that the system would be abused so bad that there's no way... Like, if we set it up where we only use the androids in the winter, so that way people aren't getting sick, but then all those people are out of work for 4 months.
Yeah.
In Ohio, winter's awful.
I was going to say, in Ohio, it's like 8 months, so...
Right.
It's like 8 months of winter and then like 3.5 of summer.
Right, so those people are out of work, but they could always find a winter job to tide them over until then.
But even still, they could be easily replaced.
That
Okay,
too. And it makes sense, but I don't think it's right because people need to work.
So what about not Android level, but what about like autonomous vehicles?
What do you mean? Like self-driving cars?
Yeah, self-driving cars.
No.
But even if they alleviate human error, though.
I don't think it'll ever come to a point of that.
I think we're close.
Really?
I think we're close.
I mean, the thing about self-driving cars is that just because you drive one doesn't mean anything. Everybody needs to drive one.
Correct, yes.
Because the cars will have to communicate with each other.
Yes.
And
Also, it is 2038, and literally Hank's driving a Cadillac from the 80s. I'm like, what?
Right. But no, that's what sets me off from self-driving cars so much. Is that if it comes to that point, nobody will be able to be on the road if they drive a normal car.
Yeah.
And so everyone will have to make this huge investment into these self-driving cars just to make sure that they can get from point A to point B safely.
Inevitably, it would have to be either quick integration or a very slow integration.
No, a slow integration won't work either. Because these self-driving cars don't communicate with the ones that we're driving because we're driving them. We don't know what this car's thinking, and that car can't read our minds.
What I mean by slow integration is it's not like everyone has it, but like mass transit has it.
I don't get it.
So, you have buses that have it, you have taxis that have it and everything. And then over time...
That still wouldn't work because buses and taxis still drive on the same roads.
But you can alleviate some of that over time. That's what I mean.
You can't, though. Because the communication between the vehicles wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And that would be impossible to drive on the road.
Unless you somehow broke it up into autonomous lanes and non-autonomous lanes. That's
Do you realize how much construction that would be?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, okay.
So I am not on board for self-driving cars.
So what level of machinery are you okay with?
I mean, I'm not even okay with the Alexa thing. Like, hey Alexa, turn on the lights. I'm not okay with that.
Wow, okay.
And apparently you can hook up Alexa that you can say, Alexa, lock the doors. Where it's a voice-activated lock for your house.
I've actually done that before. I've wired one of these.
And apparently, if, you have an Amazon code or something like that,
yeah,
you can get something delivered to your house, and if that delivery has your code, that delivery person can say that code to Alexa, and she'll unlock the door for him, and he can put it inside rather than on your porch. No!
So the main thing is level of security.
Yes!
Okay.
Machines will never understand what security actually is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless it's deviant.
We're not talking about Detroit anymore, though. We're talking. I mean,
we're talking about
the
philosophy of machinery and integration into human life.
Yeah.
Because I believe that Detroit. I wouldn't say it's a very near future, but we'll probably see some level of machine integration into our lives within the next 20 to 50 years.
Don't get me wrong.
Guaranteed.
In artificial intelligence that can get up and walk like that and talk like that,
yeah,
that's incredible. I would love to see it.
But
possibly take advantage of it. Tell it to do stuff and things like that.
I also believe that there's an essence that you would fear it as well.
Oh, yeah. I'd keep my distance from it. I wouldn't listen to anything it has to say.
But you would let it... But you just said you'd let it serve you.
I would ask it to do a couple things and be like, oh, that's so cool. And then I'd be like, all right, bye. It's terrifying to think about. And I've seen this video of different times, what artificial intelligence we have now has made odd comments. Where it almost sounds like it's sentient in this one, it's not a whole conversation that it has that it sounds this way, but it makes a comment that sounds like a sentient comment. And I got goosebumps right now, man. It's freaky to me. I don't like it. I can't explain why I don't like it. It's got to be the control thing, or I don't know.
There's a movie that you and I should watch, Circuits. If anyone's ever seen it, shout out. That's a good movie. The whole idea is it's a world of people that control androids in real life, and it's a very, very interesting setup.
Wait, it's a world of androids controlled by people?
Yeah. So literally, you sit in a machine and you control a robot in the real world. So this is tea, by the way. I'm not peeing. So, but maybe I am. I don't know. Ooh, having a hard day. Ooh.
Oh, stop.
So, but okay, so
see, like, and then if you're gonna talk about movies, though, now I've never seen it in its entirety. Wait, which one is it? It's not I Am Legend.
iRobot.
iRobot. Thank you. The Will Smith one.
Yeah.
There's a point like
they're both Will Smith. So.
Oh, I know. There are other movies that have to do with artificial intelligence, those.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that you knew I was talking about the Will Smith artificial intelligence movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very
underrated movie.
What, I Am Robot?
Oh,
or iRobot?
Yeah. I Am Robot.
Is it a good movie? Because I've never seen it.
It's not a great movie. It's a good 2 hours if you want to kill time, but it's not like, oh, you should go out of your way and see this.
Oh, okay. But anyway, I haven't seen it, but I know that Will Smith's character doesn't like the idea of this artificial intelligence.
He's basically Hank.
Because the artificial intelligence had chosen to save him in this car accident because he was like a cop or a doctor or something like that?
He had a higher probability of surviving.
Oh, so yeah, the artificial intelligent car had decided to save him, but his son and wife were still in the car.
No, it was...
Or was it just his son?
It was a car crash on a bridge and 2 cars fell in the water. It was his car and another car with a girl and a father. The father was killed and there was a girl sinking in the other car. And a android came into the water and saved him, not her.
Right, so he, like...
Because the logical thinking was to save him because his probability of surviving was much higher.
Security and morals are 2 things that artificial intelligence will never be able to understand completely.
Well, in iRobot, they're the 3 principles of robotics.
What were those?
Obey humans. I think it's obey humans, never harm a human. Oh god, now I gotta look this up.
So what, they were programmed with these principles to never go against them?
Yes. The laws of robotics.
iRobot.
The laws of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being or... So a robot may not injure a human being or threaten in action. Always obey human. Except when a human, or else it would come in conflict with the first law. So if a human told a robot to kill a person, it could not do that. And then... And then a robot must protect itself so long as it does not involve hurting a human. So basically, to sum it up, the rules of the robotics is it has to obey a human, can defend itself, except it cannot kill a human, and it must protect itself so long it does not harm a human. So, in a way, there are ethics to it.
Which, I mean, if that's a set code, I mean, it just gets manufactured into every artificial intelligence as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway. But that's another thing that I don't like about the artificial intelligence idea. Is because it wouldn't be able to understand morals. Yeah. Like, that android could have definitely, if Will Smith was trapped in the car, gotten him undone from the car and then gotten over to the other car and saved that little girl, too.
But at the risk of losing losing Will's character.
Still, though.
Yeah.
The effort should have been put in. A human would have put in the effort.
Well, a human probably would have listened to what he said and said, go after the girl. Because that would be... this person's chosen to sacrifice himself. Okay, this person has chosen, to end their life to try to save another person. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, morals just wouldn't be able to be... And the thing is that every person has different morals.
Yeah.
So, just because this artificial intelligence believes in my morals, doesn't mean that you're going to agree with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like... So, no matter what, people are unhappy.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a very gray topic, no matter what you choose to say about it. So, I think there's so much nuance to this that there's no way to come to a conclusive answer without some sort of conflict of interest. Because, I as someone that would believe that if a robot gains sentience and human-like emotion, they should be treated as a human, doesn't mean that there's no discontent or anxiety towards them. As a machine. Nice, you look at that. As a machine would think. I mean, I couldn't prevent that machine from believing it was superior to me.
Right.
So that would be possibly an issue that would eventually occur. But at the same time, to devalue a machine to lower than a human, then what am I saying to myself then? So. Right.
I don't know. You had a couple good questions there. I don't know if you have any more.
Oh, I have tons.
Okay.
I have tons.
I know I was complaining about it being like an interrogation, but I mean,
I don't know if you have questions for me. So.
I don't. I mean, I'm pretty set in stone about how I believe in it, and I don't care what you believe about it because I have no control over it. And
okay, so you believe that humans should work, but do you believe in human augmentation then?
What is augmentation?
Augmentation to change a part of your body to make it either better or to replace automail, like we talked about earlier.
Oh, like a mechanical arm?
Yeah. Well, say it like this. Say you have a person who has a fully functioning arm. Mm-hmm. And through some sort of robotics or something like that, or some sort of assistance, he makes his arm better, stronger, faster. Is that wrong?
Morally, yes.
How?
Because I'm taking it as they're doing it to win something, like to win over something.
Yeah.
And that's morally wrong. Like, there's no glory in that.
So would you have an issue? Because you have an issue.
Now, I would not have an issue if that person had lost control of that arm, and then they were able to enhance it back to its normal state. I would not have an issue with that. And if the quote unquote normal state is possibly programmed a little stronger or better than the previous arm that they had, I'm fine with that too, because it's better than them being down an arm. Mm-hmm. Humans are built to be able to use those arms and everything. So we need them. Mm-hmm. Same thing with legs. Like, if somebody needed a leg and a machine was programmed to help them or better them, I'd be fine with that.
But so you'd be fine with an unequal advantage in the cases of as long as it is foreseen as not enhancing but replacing.
So long as it's not seen as enhancement, yes.
Okay. So
now, because like you said, all these topics are very gray area. So
well, the thing about it is, personally, I think human augmentation will become before artificial intelligence. I believe that we are closer to being able to attach something to a leg and make it better, to make it stronger.
Now, okay, it's kind of weird to think about if, something could enhance yourself for a job or something like that.
Well, then again, it's kind of like this scenario of a college education. A college education enhances your chances of achieving a better job.
Right.
So, would having a arm that can lift 300 pounds put you in a better stance than somebody
lift 300 pounds without strain? Because if it's mechanical, it won't strain.
Yeah.
If it's built to lift that, it'll easily pick it up. I mean, and this doesn't even need to be, full, like, arm things. It just needs to be, like, a mechanical piece that kind of coats your arm to give it that extra oomph.
We have that. So we have similar stuff to that now. I mean, the U.S. military has been trying to develop mechanized suits for forever now, so that's not new.
Well, now I'm thinking about it, the hardest thing that would be about an arm attachment to make yourself better, and I'm just looking really far into this subject, is that it's not the arm that needs to be stronger, it's also the balance. Because you're, like, you could lift this 300-pound easy with the strength of this arm, but then you have to balance it on your hips and your shoulders and your back.
It'd probably be a bigger augmentation than just your arm. I just use that as representation.
Right, I'm just saying. But yeah, I was just reading a bit farther into that.
Yeah.
But no, if it's not used... Okay, I might be kind of sounding contradictive here. If it's not used for enhancement, I'm fine with that. If it's used for medical, I'm perfect with that. Mm-hmm. If it's used to better someone at their job, I'm okay with that.
Even if it gives them an unfair advantage?
It gives them an unfair advantage, but it also helps quote-unquote save that person in a way.
Well, not even saying, like, this person did it. It's not even because this person did it because... medical reasons. Say this person just wanted to be stronger than everybody else.
Because
I truly believe that human augmentation it will probably be the next step.
See, I would probably do something like that. I would actually probably get some sort of enhancement in my arms because I have no strength whatsoever.
Oh, are you kidding? I'm totally, like, my knees and everything.
Right, yeah. My shoulders. Mm-hmm. My shoulders would really gain from something like that. But...
Okay. Here's a side shoot-off question. Do you believe that somebody with robotic augmentation is less human than somebody that has all their normal appendages?
Is less human?
Yes.
No.
So you still see them and value them exactly as you would see it?
A machine and a human are different because of what's in the brain, not because of what they're made of.
What if we augment the brain?
You can't.
Not now. Not now.
That's terrifying to think about. Oh my god.
But think about that.
No!
But think about it. Where is the line where you have to say this is a person or this is a machine?
The brain is the line.
So when you augment the brain...
They are now a machine.
But they were born. Therefore, as your previous ideology would say, they are human.
But they're not anymore. They've died.
So why can't a machine become human?
I hate
the best look. If a human becomes a kid, can become a machine.
Human did not become a machine. A human died, and a machine was created.
No.
From the corpse. No. Yes, because you cannot alter the brain of a human without killing them.
No. We are going into semantics, though. You're going into details. Say it's 2048, and we have somehow been able to augment the brain where the person can be alive. If we augment the brain and, as you said, a human becomes a machine, why can't a sentient machine with humanistic tendencies, emotions, and feelings become human?
Because they still don't have a brain!
Yes, they do!
No, they don't! It's a computer chip!
Then what's the difference between a brain becoming a computer chip? Why can't a computer chip become a brain?
Because a brain is an organ.
That's been augmented to become a computer.
Exactly! So it's a computer chip now!
But it's human.
Okay, you're kind of arguing something that's kind of...
Based off...
things can't always go two ways.
That's but based
because a human can be born, but human can't be unborn.
Yeah, it can. It dies.
No, that's not unborn.
It is.
Unborn would literally be the reverse of being born. Family Guy made a joke about it, and it was disturbing.
Oh wait, was that
yeah, that was when Stewie had to be born twice.
No, it was the Ipecac part.
Oh, God, I hate that Ipecac episode.
No, it's
Oh, no.
Twice. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, no. Okay. No. Not everything can be reversed. Okay? Time cannot be reversed.
True, because that's a constant. That's a law. That's an established law of the universe.
Right.
Time, to our perspective, goes one direction. Correct.
Right.
You don't know you're beautiful. Sorry. That was one direction.
Yeah, I know. Where did it come from?
Because time is, to our perspective, one direction.
Oh!
She's slow today, kids. She's slow today.
No. A machine cannot become human, but a human can become machine. I don't... There's nothing you can tell me that I could believe that a machine could become sentient enough to become
Could you ever respect a machine that has humanistic tendencies?
Could I respect them? Yes.
So, do you think a robot that has humanistic tendencies has the right to vote? And choose their own destiny? Okay, here. What's the highest level they can be? What's the closest level that can they become to be seen as humanistic? Do they have the right to?
Regardless of them being sentient, I do not want androids working.
Do they have the right to own property?
Sure.
Vote. Because
because they can analyze a situation much better than humans could, and they could probably make a proper vote.
Well, if you pass legislation, it's going to affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So yeah, they can vote. They can own property.
Do they have the right to have a family?
Sure.
Do they have the right to choose to have work if they are being paid? Because then you put them on an equal playing field as a person.
But they still have a working advantage from people. They don't get tired.
But then why are you okay with human augmentation? Because that gives you a distinct advantage as well. I'm making you think.
Because human augmentation can help medically, for one.
True.
Which I said I'm perfect with that.
True.
And I can't be against human augmentation when I would take advantage of it.
Sure. I believe most people would.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not against it. That is the strict reason, because I know I would go for it. Because if it was something that could help me with my shoulders and my back, then I would jump on that opportunity.
But wouldn't also an android be able to help you with that too? By alleviating the stress of having a job so strenuous?
Well, then I'd be out of a job.
True.
I need to work.
I know. But
I need to pay bills.
But at the same time, somebody with a superior advantage than you walks in, says, I want this job, boom, you're out of a job.
That's already happened to me once in this world. I had a job at the Stark County Fair offices, and the board president's daughter got hired into the same position as me, like as an extra, like just to help us out. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, oh, there's not enough work, and unfortunately you're the one who's got to go, so bye. Yep. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
It's happened to my dad like twice. So.
I mean, it happens now, and
what?
You have to remember that if human augmentation becomes a thing, if everyone becomes augmented, is that the right word?
Yes.
If everyone becomes augmented, then it's not an advantage much anymore.
Just depends.
Kind of like, remember in The Incredibles how Syndro was like, I'm going to sell my inventions and make everybody super. Yeah, but when everybody's super, no one will be.
Yeah.
That's what would happen. It wouldn't be a quick change, but eventually it would be what would happen.
Well, we'll think about it. You have somebody that can afford every augmentation, and then you have somebody that can't afford any augmentation. Inevitability, that's an unfair advantage.
Right.
Because you are essentially...
Like I said, the only reason I can't be against augmentation is because I would take advantage of it.
You wouldn't take advantage of an android, though.
What?
You wouldn't take advantage of an android.
No, I would. Not a deviant one, but...
But an android, nonetheless.
Yeah. I would take advantage of that.
So what's the difference?
I don't know. I just want to see what it's like.
So you'd be fine with somebody with human augmentation taking your job, but not an android taking your job.
Yeah, because that's a human. That's an android.
But someone's still taking your job.
I don't care.
You're out of a job.
Humans need to work. Androids do not. Humans need to pay taxes. There's nothing that says androids need to.
Well, if you give them the same equal rights and their own property, then inevitably they would have to pay. They would still be a function. If a deviant android wanted the same rights as a human, they would have to also obey humanistic law.
But the last thing this world needs is more people with no jobs.
Well,
there are not enough jobs in this world for the amount of people as it is. Okay?
Yeah.
Adding more to it is wrong.
Well, yeah. Well, I believe that's the biggest crisis that would probably happen is the 35% unemployment, which was absolutely absurd.
That's got to be what was sticking in the back of my mind that was keeping me away from the androids working.
Yeah.
There's not enough jobs in general. We cannot add more people to this.
Sure.
Well, quote unquote people.
Well,
androids people, nothing. We cannot.
Well, you could go with the socialistic idea of, well, they'll just work for the government. We'll give them government jobs, but that's a.
Wait a second. Unemployment in the game Detroit in 2038 was
35%.
35%. Was that just in Detroit or all across America?
I think that's all across. I'm not quite sure actually.
What is it all across America right now?
I think the average is like 4 to 6%.
I thought so.
Which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty good. But as I said previously,
Yeah.
There'll always be an outlier, regardless.
I was just curious because I wouldn't doubt that Detroit's unemployment might be kind of on the higher side.
Detroit. Google Detroit's economic history for like the past 70 years. It's bad. No, literally, it's like from 1940 to the mid 60s, skyrocketed. Huge growth, fantastic industry, and then 1970s, just plummeted. Absolutely plummeted. Yeah. But regardless of that, yeah, I think Detroit raises a lot of interesting questions, especially about a near future that we probably will inhabit.
Yeah.
Within the next 20 to 40 years.
Which to me is terrifying because in 2038 I'm going to be 40.
You're old.
Shut up.
You're old.
Shut up.
I mean, you think we're going to feel out of place though. I think it's kind of interesting, somebody in their mid-40s and 60s saying, I live in a world I don't understand.
Yeah.
The majority of people listening to this, and us personally, that will probably be us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't think so. Because if the way that the generation that we've grown up in has had so much technology advancement that we've had to adapt to every single generation of it.
Yeah.
So as artificial intelligence starts to get incorporated in everything, we're going to have to adapt to that. I feel like our generation will thrive in that, to be honest.
We'll adapt better, but...
Yeah, we'll adapt and we'll thrive, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's funny to watch my grandmother try to work a computer.
Yeah.
In comparison to, it's weird, because, a 4-year-old can pick up a laptop and literally get to Google.
Yeah. When I was 5, I couldn't figure out how to get the internet window open.
Well, it's funny to think about it. It's like a fully functioning adult that has had decades of life experience completely rendered helpless by a machine.
Yeah.
By not understanding the technology. I think that's the real issue we're gonna have is kind of understanding the line. The line of what not to cross. Okay, actually, Jurassic World.
Okay.
Would you be okay with human cloning? Kind of instead of androids, humans.
Okay. No. For the same reason as androids working. We do not have enough in this world for the amount of humans already. The last thing we need is more. I would be okay with cloning, like, cows or something.
Moo!
Because so long as the meat is not toxic, we can use that. We can eat that meat.
Well, I think the reason why they don't do it is because of genetic deterioration.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Because I believe it's like the more you splice
it's not like we have a deficiency of beef or chicken or anything like that. We don't need it.
Well,
but if it ever came to it, it would make sense to clone chickens, deer, cows. You know, you can get meat out of those. You can get food out of those things. Cloning humans does nothing but
gives you.
Well, I don't even know what to say about that. That's terrifying.
Think of it. If you clone a person, you have an infinite labor force. You have an infinite army. You have essentially endless amount of people. Any war, any labor, any sort of mass production is solved.
I mean, technically, that could be solved now. With the amount of people that we have.
Or with robotics.
Or with robotics.
So the question also, another question then. Are you more comfortable with clones or more comfortable with machines?
Oh, machines.
That's a fascinating comment there.
Because regardless of Detroit, I'm shoving the game Detroit out of the way for a second.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence will never advance to a point, at least not in my lifetime.
Theoretically, yes, you are correct.
Will never advance to a sentient AI.
Yes.
Clones are human beings. They're already sentient.
True.
So, that's terrifying. They could, and probably would, if they are strictly used like if they're strictly cloned to start armies and to do what we tell them or something like that, or like what we clone them for, they will rebel. They're human beings. They will rebel, and it will end ugly.
Didn't for slavery.
Huh?
Didn't for slavery.
Din for slavery?
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
We used slaves for thousands of years, and they didn't rebel. That's a similar philosophy.
That's true.
Yeah, think about it. You have...
But...
Again, it goes back to as long as they are under our thumb, in our pocket, under our control, what's the risk?
I find that morally wrong, though, too. I don't think you should treat a person like that.
Correct. So then...
See, like I said, I would treat androids civilly, but I just don't trust them.
Is a clone human?
Yes.
Even if it's manufactured?
It's not. You need a sperm and you need an egg, and that makes a person.
And it's grown in a test tube.
That doesn't matter. It's grown.
Which is a form of creation and building.
It's grown with the same stuff as what we are. Yeah. The only thing we're missing is the mommy's tummy. That's it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just because it's made in a test tube does not mean that it's not human. It still has a mom and dad, a biological mother and father. They're just, like, out of the picture.
I mean, if we use stem cells in a dormant egg, technically no.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, technically.
Now, see, I don't know what I think about that. Because technically stem cells you need to get from people, too.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that thing, even though it didn't have a technical sperm cell and an egg cell, the stem cells that created that are from people, and those are their biological parents, no matter how many there are. Like, that's the case. So, yes, they're still human.
The thing I find funny about it, I think, is the thing you find...
I love how shocked you look about all my responses and everything. It makes me feel like I'm a really horrible person already.
No. It's your philosophy it is not about what a person... It's not what a person does or what they feel or think. What your philosophy of humanistic is what a person is made of. Their biological composition.
Yeah!
But my argument is what makes a human not of what they are made of, but what they choose to what they choose to what they choose to put out in the world, to put into the world, to add to the world.
That's not a level of human, that's a level of morality.
Which is a trait of humanity. That's what I think is interesting.
Well...
Because in my mind, I would say a clone is probably... I would say a clone is probably more or less an organic machine. Because they are created for a sole purpose of to serve. You know, they don't know what it means to cry, to laugh, you know, to fight, to win or anything until you integrate that into them through social integration.
Can I just say something real quick? I kind of missed a portion of what you said because I was Googling what the actual definition of human was. And I really hate it when the definition has the word in the definition, because I searched definition of human and it said relating to or characteristics of people or human beings. This doesn't help me. I don't know what the definition of human is.
But that would make by that definition of human, that would make a deviant robot from Detroit a person. Because they have defied their programming to put in...
Because that said characteristics of human beings. Wait, god dang it.
Yeah, which is a deviant! That's what I find interesting. Your philosophy is not wrong. I believe your philosophy has sound ground to it. I just think your philosophy has a tinge of, I wouldn't say contradiction, but a tinge of imperfection, mild imperfection. Because I think you are sound mind in what you think, but I think there's tweakage to it that would make it more complete.
Well, there's tweakage to any perspective you have on it. You said it yourself. This is a very gray area.
Yes.
There is no black or white to this whatsoever.
Correct.
So.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I think machines have a level of animosity to them. Animosity?
Like animalistic?
That's not the right word. I think machines will become more and more humanistic. Regardless, because I think that people... I
mean, they're already starting to, they're giving artificial intelligence faces and everything that move like humans.
Japan, you can go to a cafe and have sex with a robot.
You're lying. Mm-mm. Is it a robot that actually looks human? Male or female?
Female, she's popular.
I'd believe it. Yeah. I mean, what's the difference of that and then going to a sex club, I guess? Or a strip club. Not a sex club. I don't think there's such thing as sex club.
We saw that thing in Detroit. There was that club.
The Eden Club in the game Detroit, yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting in its own right. But I think machines will start to emulate human more and more and everything. I don't think we'll get to full sentience, at least not in our lifetime. But I think they'll become more and more frequent and humanistic, and I want to expect the best out of humanity, but the pessimist inside also agrees with you in the sense of I think a lot of people will have a lot of negativity towards them.
It's not that people will have negativity towards it, it's that they're going to abuse the system.
I think there'll be negativity towards it.
There'll be both. For sure.
Oh, there will be, yes. But I also think there will be I want to say a strong majority of people, because nobody wants to hear that you are essentially useless. You know, people want to feel needed and wanted and everything. So I think there will be a certain level of a certain level of people that will say, nope, not having this. This is my right. This is my identity and everything. And a lot of people, well, not so much anymore, find their identity in what they do.
Right.
So
not so much anymore. I can feel
no.
that.
Now it's kind of moving to what you are.
Ooh. Do you know how many people will start to like identify as androids?
Oh, don't get me started on that.
That's terrifying.
Listen.
Which means that if that's the case, because you know that will be a thing.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then androids will have to be considered like equals. Because if humans are starting to identify with or as them,
I think there will be. I don't know about that.
in all honesty, I guess I could kind of. After playing Detroit, I feel like I'm more machine than human.
No, I wouldn't say that at all. No.
No. All I did in Detroit was focus on my mission, which is what a machine would do. Because they don't have any,
But as you said, you're a logical thinker trying to solve a logical puzzle.
All I do is literally work. I don't really go out of my way for anything else. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make friends.
I think if Detroit has taught you anything, I think it should be maybe have a little more. Try to be a little more human.
That's hard to do when I couldn't even do that in a video game.
Well, you gotta try somewhere.
All that game has really shown me is how really horrible I am. And I know you don't like me saying it, but it's true. I really feel like that game showed me the true part of who I actually am.
A horrible person would have just been, well, Hank's dead. All right, goodbye. And just moved on with that. The fact that you were physically shaken by that is proof that you can show empathy, not apathy. If you just showed apathy, I would be very concerned. Because I'd make you a sociopath. So, no, I think that Detroit has a lot of ways of showing the bad side of people, and unfortunately we saw the bad side of artificial intelligence. I think if we would have got a different ending with a different outcome, and we played the game a little bit differently, we would see a lot of good. I think Marcus's intentions were good.
You say that now, knowing the outcome.
Yeah, because hindsight's 20/20, foresight's blind.
Right.
So.
I don't know. I feel like if it came to that point in time, I would probably end up identifying as a machine. In my mindset right now, right here, I definitely feel like more of a machine than a person. So. What?
I don't know.
He was giving me this face like he knew something. It's like, oh yeah, I was actually created in a lab. Yeah, I'm not actually human. This heartbeat doesn't exist.
Alright, where's the gun?
She's becoming deviant, guys! Alert! 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 Alert!
Guys, she's thinking! She's figured
it out! Get over here now!
I mean, I don't think the world would be a better place, though, if everyone thought like a machine, though.
I'm not saying it would. I'm not saying it would be a better place. I'm just saying that Jack said it in his playthrough of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the beginning, the couple of parts I did watch, he mentioned that as time goes on, you'll realize artificial intelligence as just that. It's just an artificial intelligence. Which means you don't even need to pay them any mind.
Yeah.
You don't need to say please. You don't need to say thank you, because they won't be fazed by it.
Yeah.
How long until you start to treat other humans that way?
Yeah. Well, I think that's. to be perfectly honest, I think that's the biggest mistake we ever did with the internet. We took away the face.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I think that the civil rights movement, I think the civil rights movement that happened right now would not work. Because we can't put a face to it. We can't put hands on it. We can't see, you know, we see news happens so fast now. The world moves so fast now. The moment something happens, it's gone. You know, it's. I mean, honestly, I think a portion of you is correct. I think humans are becoming more machine than anything.
And I'm living proof of that.
You're not the one that's posting shit-faced comments on the internet.
That's true.
That's probably the most machinist thing in the world, because you're putting aside any sort of thought and reason into pure outlash.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably something I want to say that's definitely something that could happen. Because, like, especially our generation,
mm-hmm.
Nobody can just be. Everybody needs to change and identify and title themselves.
Well, I think the big thing that we've lost in the past 10 to 20 years is the fact of self-reflection.
That too. That's why they kept making you look in the mirrors.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
Yeah. Because one of the most humanistic things is to self-reflect.
Yeah.
I think the problem with self-identification now, it is not of what am I that makes me. It is what am I to be in a group. What am I to be, you know. The most human thing I think I've ever experienced was literally I was sitting in a room and there was nothing but me.
That's terrifying to me.
But think about it. I can reflect on myself to think only onto my actions and my existence. To say that I am alive and I exist.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably one of the most humanistic thoughts in the world. It has almost been twisted to this idea of I only exist so others can see me.
Yeah.
Not I exist so I can see myself. Which I think it's a true travesty that it's so hard to find that.
What started this conversation? Something about machines? Oh, we're gonna identify as more machines. Yeah.
I think that people don't see themselves as people because we choose labels. I'm part of the gay. I am a gay man. I am a trans woman. I am a Republican. I
am a man. Yeah. I am a woman.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with a label.
No,
because a label can help you see who you are. The problem is when you take that label, and that's all you are. Right.
That's like an android strictly saying, "I am an android."
Yeah. You know, it's.
But that was basically what Detroit started out as. You know, like these androids were being advertised like this android does this, and this, and then this android does this, and this. This new model does this, and this. So those were their titles. That's what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Which is basically what our generation is doing, with them just strictly making themselves the label. I am a woman. I am a gay. I am a feminist. You are making yourself into a machine.
Yeah. Because I'm choosing to identify with this.
Right.
And then we have the problem I really have with it is that we destroy other labels because we don't like those labels.
Oh my God.
That's the thing I think is the worst part of all. Is because the labels have become so overbearing. Is you cannot just be a feminist. You have to be a feminist that only thinks feministic ideas, or you have to be a man and only think man ideas and everything. It's like you can't just be Chuck.
Right.
You know, Chuck works 9 to 5 at a grocery store, has 2 kids, and believes that, abortion's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's oh, that's Chuck. He believes abortion's wrong. Attack, 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 attack. It's not. He's Chuck. He works at a grocery store, has 2 kids, believes abortion's wrong. There's
a stepping stone.
Yeah,
there's stepping stones.
It's this the way a computer is the way computers can programmed is you have a start and an end, and it plays out the functions and everything. And what we're basically doing is throwing out all the middle pieces and just getting start and end. That's it.
Kind of like, and when you're doing it to yourself, just makes you more of a machine. Yeah. Like, if Chuck literally said, "I am Chuck who believes abortion is wrong," or abortion is right. Which one did you say? Wrong. Like, he's making himself into that.
Yeah.
But no, he could introduce himself and be like, "Hey, I'm Chuck. I'm a new worker here at the grocery store."
Yeah.
But to make yourself more machine-like, you would introduce yourself as, "Hey, I'm Chuck. I believe abortion is wrong."
Well, a machine will get to the most conclusive answer the fastest it can.
Exactly.
If you tell Google, "I want tickets to a baseball game," it's not going to go, "Okay, which baseball game?" It's literally just going to go, "Tickets to a baseball game." And it's going to be the first thing.
It's going to be the biggest baseball game at the closest date.
Yeah, it's not going to ask you, "Oh, well, do you want to go see the Indians or the Reds?" Or
I think that might be what annoys me most whenever people are like, when people just shout out their labels. Like, "I'm vegan."
Yeah.
Like, do you have a name?
Yeah.
Like, and all they're doing is literally defiling themselves down to a machine.
Well, they're validating their own viewpoints based off of what their viewpoints are, which in a computer setting that makes sense, like Twitter. I have no idea why people have political conversations on Twitter. You're limited to 160 characters. When you're talking politics, you're going to need a lot more than 160 characters.
Yeah.
It's like, "I don't agree with this, and here's why." Oh, hit the cap limit. It's like, what? Why? There are like 10,000 different platforms you could have.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really...
But then again, social media, though, like you said, takes away the face.
Yeah.
So, like, this person can type, like, something that makes perfect sense as an argument against what you believe, but without the face there, you think they're making it all up.
Well, at the same time, I also think that a machine also takes away the subtleties of humanity.
Yeah.
It takes away the tone of a voice. It takes away the facial expression. That I think is also another very, very interesting thing. A machine can't read body language.
Right.
I mean, people can barely read body language now.
Hence why Hank's dead.
Yeah. Oh no, that I think is Hank's subtle body motions are partially what sells that. There's a scene where he literally just and kind of just shifts his shoulders. Mm-hmm. But in that shift, you see contempt. You see what is it? A guy comes up to him and asks if he wants to bet on a game. And Connor questions and says, "I think what that person's doing is illegal." And Hank just goes, shrugs his shoulders and goes, "As long as you're not bothering anybody, what's the big deal?"
Right.
A machine just goes, "He's doing something wrong. He's doing something wrong. We must stop him and everything." And it made good and evil black and white.
I mean, in argument, that's kind of what the world's becoming. Like what we were saying, because a coworker of mine was out on the 4th of July, and it was about 9 p.m. Everyone was still out drinking and having their parties and shooting off fireworks. He was on his way home, mm-hmm. and he was going 10 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
Cop pulls him over. He's never had a speeding ticket in the 30 years he's had his license. This cop pulls him over and instantly says, "This was wrong. You're getting a ticket." There was nobody else on the road. He wasn't, 10 over the speed limit. He was just 10 over the speed limit. No one else on the road. He wasn't putting anybody in danger but himself.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was his car, which means he knows how it drives, which means he should have been fine.
Yeah.
Granted, it's law to follow that, but...
But law most times is interpreted in black and white.
Exactly.
But only...
Like I said, there was nobody on the road he was endangering. If he knows his car, he was not endangering himself.
Normally law...
But he still got a ticket because that's how a machine would look at it.
Well, think about it. Law is normally interpreted black and white. It is only until we introduce humanistic tendencies and humanistic probability and thinking is only when that law becomes gray.
Right.
It is only when law becomes gray is when humans intervene with it. If we had a machine judge, it would probably just be, okay, you broke the law, $30, drug offense, 2 years in jail, killed some guy, life in prison. You know, it would just
Wasn't
be...
there something just recently we watched about a machine making those decisions?
No.
There was a movie or something we were watching that had to do with a machine as the judge.
But I don't remember.
Oh, it's gonna bother me now. Oh no. It's gonna bother me so much if I can't remember where I've heard that line. Like, to put a machine in charge of the judicial system, or in charge of, like, the court system, or something like that. Oh my god, it's gonna bother me!
I'm at a loss.
Oh my god. That's really gonna bother me if I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably wrap this up. We're into another hour of this podcast.
That's fair. This is kind of the ethics of it all and everything. We'd love to hear comments and feedback, really. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, whether you guys agree or disagree, understand that we've said it a couple times already. There is so much gray area in everything we were talking about.
We could make this political if we wanted.
We don't have to make it political. A lot of people will probably get really heated about what we were talking about. Other people will probably agree with us, and other people are going to be like, meh, this is what I think. Which is fine. But...
life's a rainbow, not black and white.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's one thing, that's a message that's probably the message I want to get across to the world.
Mm-hmm.
With the, like, and the best place to do it is on the internet, that's probably... But I feel like that's something that people also, like, make themselves very machine-like by believing that everything is black and white when it's not.
Yeah.
There are gray areas. It's a rainbow.
I think, well, back on the topic of Detroit, I think the number one thing I take away from Detroit is that sometimes the good intentions are paved in a lot of blood. And
they can be, or they can't be.
Yeah, sometimes good intentions.
That's why they say the right decision is always the hardest.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
And sometimes yeah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, and sometimes the most human thing is more or less to accept when sometimes you have to think like a machine. Accept your flaws. That's the number one thing. Is I think Connor's story is sometimes the right thing, is making the mistakes and coming away from it more human. And
Connor's or Marcus?
Connor's. Because of his mistakes, Hank died. And therefore, you became more human. And Marcus's is sometimes good intentions are paved with blood.
Yeah.
A lot of people died for his vision.
And
if I took away anything from cars, enjoy the people you have around you, because sometimes this one day they won't be there.
Heavy morals, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm really glad we captured all this, though. But, like he said, I would love to hear your guys' opinion. Whether it be a whole paragraph you guys post or one sentence, I don't care. I will read it. But I want to know because I'm actually curious. Like, the only way you can understand the world is to interact with it, and this is the closest I'm going to get because I don't leave the house.
Let's go to Lunch Boost. Let's talk to a bunch of people.
No. Alright, thank you guys for listening, though. If you guys caught the last one and came back for this one, I really do appreciate it. You guys probably already noticed the whole channel isn't just podcasts, but due to the fact that Bradley and I can ramble on forever and ever, we can definitely keep up on these if you guys like them. So let us know about that too. So
support the channel. Go Patreon. We don't have a Patreon, but if we did, just saying, pretty cool. All right, love you, Jericho. Shout out to Jericho. Jericho Kane got some good stuff. We did a Star Wars film.
All right, we'll have another podcast up soon, hopefully. So we will probably not hear from you guys, but we'll be there.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.